So what are we doing up here?
So I come up here all the time. I come up here just to think and give myself a break. You can literally get away and stare down at all the chaos, which helps a lot. Growing up in LA was crazy. It was a privilege. I lived like the suburban life, and I could go to Hollywood or I can go to the city, and having those two different options of having a toned down environment and a more busy environment, I guess, rubbed off on me. I had the best of both worlds. I live 30 minutes outside of the city. So yeah, I could go to the beach and climb mountains, and then if I wanted to go get tacos and watch the Lakers, I could do it in the same day. When you travel around the world and you come back, like, you get out of that LA bubble and it puts everything in perspective, and you realize how amazing this place is.
What is this?
That is a flyer for a show that I'm putting on. I'm not playing at it or performing at it, but I'm starting this thing called Blackbird. Basically, I've been wanting to do this for years, and with some time on my hands, I finally have a chance to do it. And it's basically a collective of people that are from my area, the Valley, that are very talented and that I want to help out and get shows and expose them. So during this operation called Blackbird, we're having our first show, low-key, January 9th in North Hollywood. It's live painting for hip-hop artists and for brands, including my brand. And we're doing raffles and giveaways, and it's just a cool situation, cool environment that I've been wanting to provide and been wanting to execute for a long time. And with the departure of the band and just having time on my hands, I finally was able to do it. It's terrifying. But I think I know what I'm doing. So if you want to see the disaster unfold, come out January 9th, North Hollywood. Yeah. This is where we recorded No Sleep. This is the studio, secret location, but this is where we recorded No Sleep. Beautiful studio, great guy who owns it. Yeah, I'll just take you up here real quick. Pretty cool views when you're in the booth. You're looking at that, but that's where No Sleep was recorded, and a couple of other bands recorded there, I think. All right, come on in.
Are you ready to do this interview?
Yeah, let's do it.
How did you grow up being influenced by music?
When I was a kid, we had this back garage, and my dad would set up like Tupperware and wooden spoons like in a drum set, like formation, snare toms, what have you. And I would just bang on the Tupperware like rhythmically or whatever. And he would like put on music, and I would try to like play along to it. And that was my furthest first recollection of the potential of music being something that I would like fun and something that I would like to do. So yeah.
Wasn't your dad like in a band?
Yeah, my dad was in a band. This behind me actually is a comic of my dad's band, a Japanese comic that were like huge in Japan. It was in the 80s, and they had like some success. Yeah, he was a huge inspiration on me. One of the main, if not the main reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. You know, as a kid, he just plowed me over the head with music and anything that had to do with music and art and stuff. So yeah. What
kind of kid were you growing up? Like going to shows? What kid in the crowd were you?
I was like really shy and nervous, and I would go to shows and I didn't know anybody for a long time. Out of my friends in high school, like freshman, sophomore year and stuff, I was the only one that listened to heavy music. So I would venture out on my own, typically to venues, really obscure places, wherever they were holding shows, and I was terrified half the time. And then the more I kept doing it, the more I would make friends. I started like getting a little confident, and then I became obsessed with moshing. And then I was out there like every night, didn't matter who you were, I just wanted to hear a breakdown and mosh. So I was at the Cobalt all the time, and like knew everyone that worked there and all the kids and all that stuff. So, and I think they all hated me too. I don't think they ever really liked me. I think they hate me to this day. So.
So fast forward a little bit, you guys get signed, you're in a successful band, you guys are going out on the road. And do you think you guys are ready for that kind of fame, or I guess that kind of opportunity to tour?
Nope. Nope, not at all. But that's the beauty in it. I mean, it's every kid's dream to drive across the country with your friends, you know. It's a beautiful situation where you learn a lot about yourself. If you can take all the pain and all the suffering and all the bullshit that comes with touring and make it through, each tour I come out stronger, and I grew up quicker, and I like would come home and have a different perspective as far as like on life and situations with my friends, and it just really like matured me, and I think just made me a little bit more tougher being thrown into it so young. But I think we handled it the best we could. We had a great time, and up until now, the best times of my life. So, yeah.
Some people said, I think it was like CJ from The Artist Murder, that you guys are like rich kids, blah blah blah, privileged. Yeah. What do you think about people that like say that?
We never fully gave it to people. Like this is what we do. This is what I have. You know, I don't really flash things. I'm not like that. I don't think a lot of the guys in the band were like that. I don't really look into that too much because I know how the industry works. When you're doing interviews, you get caught off guard, and sometimes you decide to say something you think that will further promote, and sometimes it's wrong or whatever, but I didn't take it personal.
There was like I think an article talking about you like a long time ago, like before we had met, about you at Rocket Town. Yeah. What happened that night? I have no idea.
So, you know, man, like going back to what you asked me earlier, I was young, and I was like 19, and we were on the biggest tour of our career, and ironically, that was the one night of the tour where I didn't drink. I took like a shot, like I was forced into taking a shot with like a band before they went on stage, and I was trying to like keep it chill. But what happened was, basically, to keep it short, I was just wanted to mosh. I hadn't moshed in a year or something like that, and so I got all riled up during a song, and I jumped from the stage into the crowd, and I was having the time of my life, and all of a sudden I was like taken down and got tangled up with this individual, and it just kind of led to like a fight, and like he threw a punch, I threw a punch, and then it led to me being dragged out by like the security in the venue, being dragged out outside, and then kind of getting like beaten up by a couple people outside, and then I had some choice words to say. I won't say what they were, I won't repeat it. And that was it. And a cop came up to me and told me to get the fuck in my van and go to sleep. And I was like, okay. I got my band banned from Nashville, which sucks. That place is awesome. I love Nashville. It's a great, great city. But yeah, that's what happened, and there was nothing really more to it. But it was my fault, to be honest, because I escalated it to a level where it didn't need to go. And I used to be an asshole. I used to be the worst dude for a couple years, but I'm older now, and that was a long time ago. So sorry to everyone in Nashville. I love you guys.
The big question, like, why did you leave Volumes? Why did you want to pursue something else?
So yeah, just growth. I'm not better than them or anything. I just don't want to scream anymore. I mean, I really don't. And I love heavy music, and I'd rather enjoy it and listen to it in my house and go to see counterparts and watch them, or go to see my friends' bands and watch them, and still have some love for it. I was screaming into a mic, and it was just ruining all heavy music for me. It was just, I didn't like it anymore. I love singing, and I knew a long time ago that just that act of connecting on stage and so aggressively and screaming to a mic and using my platform as that, I just wasn't into it as much as what I want to do now. I wanted to save my voice for the vision that I see myself doing. Listen, I wouldn't trade any moment in for the world that I had. Every tour, every moment that I had, every show, I would not trade it in. But it just all came to a point where I just had to pull the plug, because I knew that if I stayed in that situation, I was gonna force it on myself and force it on the guys, and that's not fair, because they're gonna be huge and they have so much potential, and I would have held them back. It wouldn't have been real. I would have been continuing to be so disconnected but yet connected, you know what I mean? And I want to be fully connected. So I just knew that screaming was not an option for me anymore. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So like, what are you up to now? What pivot are you taking right now? Like, what's up next?
So I've been in the studio for 6 months. I'm actually releasing a song in 12 days, which is really scary. It's called Where You Been, and it's gonna be out January 13th. It's something very different from Volumes, and yeah, it's timeless, man. I'm not really gonna call it any genre. It's timeless music. It's stuff that I want to hear on like a Friday or Saturday night. I went in the studio beginning of summer. I was listening to a lot of like Bryson Tiller and The Weeknd and Party Next Door. I went in with that kind of vision, as far as we're gonna make music that sounds like that, but I just had like that vibe about me, I guess, at that time. I was just like, that's what I was listening to. I'm not a rapper or anything like that, but I'm just like drawn to that culture. We went in the studio not with a plan, just kind of not like, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to sound like this, or that song's popular, so let's make a song that sounds like that. We just wanted to make music we wanted to hear, which sounds cliche, and we did that. So yeah, it's great. January 13th, Where You Been? Check it out.